Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to tell you a kind of like a story, it is a story relatively speaking, on how I am trying to learn the Quran, in memorizing, in litigating and perfecting my deen of Allah subhanahu in what I learned from this beautiful book, in Arabic of course. As this has been on my mind lately, quite continually to be honest, as well as many people have DM'd me, asked me questions about this. It's one of these hot topic requests that have been made for me on my YouTube channel, so I thought it was necessary for me to actually get on with it. This video is in dedication to Allah subhanahu and everything that I have learnt from this beautiful deen inside of this Quran, in the hadiths, in what I have learnt in this now approaching 2-year journey that I've been with. I will be honest, I have not spent as much time learning actual Arabic Quran as I'd honestly wish. Time constraints has a massive impact to play upon what I've been learning, how I've been learning, much of where I've studied, much of the words of the Quran and the litigations. I suspect I've only spent probably 20 or 30 hours learning Quran, if you were to add it all up, in combination, in much of my linguistics, my, I don't know, much of what it means to pronunciate and to be able to articulate the words, because the English language is not really great in assisting in this regard, especially when it's your base language. I've learnt about 4 to 5 surahs that I do need propped with. I don't know them off by heart yet. And I will be going over them at the end of this video, so please do stay tuned if you want to hear my recitations of the about 5 surahs I know. For someone with linguistical skills and problems that I have, this is quite an achievement from my point of view. And if you like what you see and what you hear, please follow my channel for more Islamic content and my general thoughts upon this filthy dunya as I try to charter a more positive path to our Supreme Lord, Allah subhanahu. Mostly though, this is due to time constraints when it comes towards why I haven't recitated more, spent more time, and that's because realistically I have to earn a living like everyone else does. So this is always a bit more difficult than people might think it is. I am currently maintaining what I'm doing in my Quranic lessons, verses and that lot, and yes, it is a Tajweed Quran, but I am finding it easier reading the Arabic physically in these books as I read. This is my Tajweed Quran. This is pretty much the main source of where I'm learning how to pronounce and speak Arabic, whilst also familiarising myself with the words of those of rather large public speakers. I think it's incredibly cool that I now can recognise the words physically written in the Quran, especially when it comes to things like Al-Fatiha and Nusra, and some of the other surahs that I can pronounce, which I'll put at the end of the video. It's crazy because less than a year ago, I was scared to even try to read Arabic. Let's be quite fair about this. It is practically alien to me. And honestly, I did not think for me, with my linguistical problems, and I do have them, I mean, I've iterated more than once on this app. I try specifically to avoid my swearing and much of my London-raised accidental verboseness. So in 2 years, in Quranic, in Arabic, I'm quite pleased to say that the 5 surahs that I've learnt are currently the best of my abilities. But going forward, I wish to memorise the verses I've got so that I don't need prompts into this book, into this magnificent religious book, and aids currently that I do use, because I am having to have to look at them. I kind of know them when I'm given leads. Does that make sense? I know Al-Fatiha off by heart. It's not even like it's a part of my heart now. It's chiseled thereon into my heart. But I hope to be able to do that with all 5 of these surahs at one point, hopefully before the end of Christmas. I'm going to be putting a little bit more effort into my Quranic learnings, especially the memorising of more Quranic verses over the space of the next 3 to 4 months, I think. So to get on with the advice, which I think is an important point, I advise any revert to find a teacher. Honestly, it is the best thing to do. One of my problems is sticking to one teacher. I've had several, and I tend to chop and change, and we lose contact, or we don't talk, or it's an online thing, and I'm not, because of time constraints, as attentive as I should be. In honesty, practice with a teacher is incredibly important, because they're there to correct your pronunciations, your utteration, your linguistical issues. One of my advices I would give many young reverts, especially those looking to learn Quran, is look for as much free material as you can on YouTube. Find yourself a reciter you like the sound of. So somebody whose recitation is a matter of Arabic pronunciation, words. Listen deeply to the linguistics and to your favourite reciters, and listen to how and watch and observe how they move their mouth, their voice, their throat, everything that comes about them, and the syntax of their language as well. It's incredibly important. In essence, I think that is the best advice I have. Teacher, flow of words when it comes towards your favourite recitations. It's not something that I would tend to consider an easy thing to do. I do have a challenge for any of my fellow reverts, and anyone really who wants to improve their Arabic recitations. Try copying the words as they form from the mouths of mouths and actions and movements of your favourite recitationist, because that will add incredible syntax. As they sound their words, as you see their mouths when they say "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim," things like that, or Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and you're watching the mouth as it moves, because the phonetics and the observation will have a great impact on your ability. Because if you're English speaking, like most of the reverts are, you will see the connections of how the jaw and movements change based upon the reciters of the Quran as a whole. And watch carefully the way they recite the Quran and the peace and prosperity it brings upon them, as they said. For me, when it comes to my personal favourites, Saud al-Gamadi and Saud ibn Ibrahim ibn Muhammad al-Sharum are the two top Quranic reciters that I personally have absolute amazement at. I think they're incredible reciters. I hope I pronounced their names right. Let's be fair about this, because this is one of my bugbears, is how I pronounce Arabic. And I try every day to make it better, and I mess it up quite a bit. Lastly, I would like to get onto a story on why I have dedicated, and I'm trying to dedicate myself towards a great deal of what I'm doing here in my Quran. When I became Muslim 2 years ago, my beautiful brother Scottylum, many of you don't know who he is, some of you do. It's a shout out to him, and I love him for the sake of Allah subhanahu. His Quranic recitation would be 2 years ago, and I'll be honest with you, a pile of garbage, probably my level now, and I haven't dedicated anywhere near the level of dedication. He's dyslexic. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I must tell you that he's dyslexic, and he has rocketed forward with his stunning recitations. How his voice and his mannerisms have changed from the man he was 2 years ago, and it inspires me. And many people think, well, you know, you've been a Muslim almost as long as he has. And I went, yes, but I've also had to do papers, research, I've had to do documentations. These are excuses. They are excuses. There are no excuses for me before the Deen of Allah subhanahu. And let me be fair, me trying to raise my YouTube page so it pays me, so that I can continue my deen by getting paid by advertising from the YouTube. And I'm not going to lie to any of you on here. I do this as a side hustle to one day finance myself to travel to mosques, to masjids. And this is a key reason why I want many of you, my brothers and sisters, to share this video and any of my real Islamic content videos, so that I can acquire the hours necessary watched, because it benefits me in being able to pursue my deen more. Anyway, I'm tangent. The way that Scotty has trod down his road, the way he has been so self-determined with his Quranic recitations, has been nothing but the word mashallah, because it is, in alhamdulillah, the way that his words sound. If you haven't heard Scottylum and you're only from my YouTube family, look him up on TikTok. I don't like advertising TikTok, genuinely I don't. But when I converted to Islam and watched my brother read Quran, even with his stumbling and his struggles, it was something that brought tears to my eyes. And it always does give me strength and improves my iman to see another pasty-ass white boy in the same struggles that I am. Anyway, I'm going to read to you from here the 5 surahs that I genuinely feel comfortable reading aloud, so that you can get a judge of how badly my recitations are currently. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This one is, as we quite often say in the Muslim world, the opener. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdinas sirata mustaqim, Sirata alladhina an'amta 'alayhim, ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. Fatiha, or the opening chapter. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the cherisher, the sustainer of worlds, the most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thee aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom those have bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who should not go astray. Amen. That was the first of the surahs that I'm comfortable at saying currently. Now, unsurprisingly, you'll notice that the rest are further at the back. So the one I'm pretty confident about outside of Al-Fatiha, Nas. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malakin nas, ilahin nas, min sharri waswirkan nas, alazin yuwaswi fi surudurin nas, min al-jinnat wan nas. The Nas, or mankind, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord and cherisher of mankind, the King or ruler of mankind, the Allah or judge of mankind, from the mischief of the whisperer of evil, who withdraws after he whispers, the same who whispers into the hearts of mankind, among jinn and among men. Ameen. Now this one I'm a little bit more sketchy on, but I think I'll still read it. Il-Kahal. Yes. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul a'udhu billahi al-ahad, Allahus samad, la yulad, wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahun kufuwan ahad. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Say, He is Allah, the one and only, Allah the eternal, absolute. He begot not, nor is He begotten, and there is none like unto Him. Again, a very beautiful surah in my opinion. Then there comes the one that sits between them, if you know where it is, which is Falaq. And I'm less careful about this one specifically, but I will continue to give it a go because I want to show you how my recitation works. Falaq. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, min sharri min khaliq, wa min sharri ghasiqin iz waqab, wa min sharri nafarin fil aqwab, wa min sharri hazin iz hazada. Falak, or the dawn, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of dawn, from the mischief of the created things, from the mischief of darkness as it is overspread, from the mischief of those who practice secret arts, and from those whose mischief of the envious ones as they practice envy. The only other one that I really feel that I'm actually still learning in Arabic, whilst reading it from Arabic, from specifically this side, is Nas. And I'll go through this one. Nasa. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Izja nasrullahi wal fatah. Wa ra'ata nasa. Yadkaluna fi dima la'afuru. Fajsuhab bin Haman Rabikin Wasfaka Inahum Karotawaba. Nas, or the helper. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. When comes the help of Allah and victory, and those who don't see the people enter Allah's religion in crowds, celebrate the praise of the Lord, pray for his forgiveness, for he is often returning in grace and mercy. I cannot say without any shadow of a doubt the beauty that comes in Arabic. It is, and I stand by this, a divine language. It is a language that is beyond beautiful as it is spoken from the word of men. How our prophet must have heard it from Jibril must have caused him to weep. An angel saying these words would be like perfect, abjectly perfect upon the human ear. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for staying with my video to the end, for those of you who did. And if you like what you see, please like and share, and especially please share the video, because this is how I wish to dig my way out of working a 9 to 5, just by the ad revenues. Thank you as always.